Hey, it's your old pal Lucid Stew again. As most of you probably know, my main function as a Dreams community member is to create assets for other people to use. I have placed these assets in various collections like City Streets Kit or Abandoned Industrial. I even started a supergroup called the Dreams Guild for the same purpose. But I'm not the only person that does this. In this video I want to highlight some of the other creators that make amazing assets for you all and steer you toward their collections if you aren't already aware of them. Let's get to it. I'll start with my absolute favorite collection in Dreams, Sandstone Assets by SootyPinions. This is a collection of lightly colored, mildly Middle Eastern themed stone assets, and they are among the highest quality public assets in the Dreamiverse. There's good coverage in regards to the types of objects you may need to fill a scene, including structures, decor, lighting, and foliage. There's a fantastic selection in this collection for scene building. These assets are somewhat expensive from a graphics thermal standpoint, so you won't be able to use them all in a single scene, but because they won't all fit in one scene, you can create different scenes using different pieces that will look unique, but still be unified by style. Now that we've seen them in the collection, let's take a look at these assets in action in some scenes that SootyPinions has built. It helps that SootyPinions is quite good with lighting design, but right off the bat, you couldn't be blamed if you thought this was a pro engine. Flecks are expertly manipulated to impart style and are not used in such a way that immediately give the engine away like a lot of Dreams content does. The style of the individual elements is extremely consistent, all of them look like they belong together, and the resulting space they create is harmonious. The use of pattern and repetition reinforce the design and the harmony between the pieces. This is also aided by the analogous color scheme, which moves seamlessly from yellows to greens to blues. The inclusion of both warm and cool colors also helps to reinforce the general harmony of the scenes. All of these style elements combine to produce a space that we feel comfortable existing in, while the subtle lighting and dark shadows impart an air of mystery and entice us to see what's around the next corner. There's just enough unevenness and randomness in these floor tiles to add drama, accentuating the presence of the statue without leaning into a feeling of danger. Emboldened, we drive ever deeper into this world, intrigued by what we might see after descending the stairway. I can't recommend Sandstone Assets by SootyPinions enough. Make use of these assets and study these scenes. It's hard to lose when following either of these pieces of advice. SootyPinions is one of my Dreams asset heroes. Now for something different, let's take a look at Home Collection by Entropy-Tamed. If I remember correctly, this set has been around since the beta, and this is Entropy-Tamed's actual house. Huge marks for making a very organized and easy to navigate collection. In each of these sub-collections you will find several assets fit for use in a modern home. It is incomplete as of yet, but there is great coverage in the room themes featured in the scene Entropy-Tamed built around this set, which we will see momentarily. Many of these assets are genuinely thermo-friendly, and due to the general theme, the types of scenes these can be applied to is broad and vast. You can literally build an entire house using these, minus the bedrooms and bathrooms maybe. There's a fantastic nursery room set, which is quite the niche theme, but odds are this is the only place in the Dreamiverse where you will see it so completely covered. So let's invade Entropy-Tamed's home and have a look around. We'll start in the living room. The thing I like about this set and scene is the variety of decor and the fullness of the space. A lot of Dreams content has a slightly empty feel because it's missing small touches like the pillows on the ottoman in the corner or the urn on the mantle. You can tell this is a replica of a space someone has lived in. Moving into the kitchen is similar if the occupant of the home is extremely tidy. This definitely isn't what my kitchen looks like on a regular basis. However, if you were using this set to build your own space for a game, a stray wrapper or cup, Coke can, or perhaps a liquid spill would give it a lived-in feel, because it already feels lived in, just lived in by someone who really dislikes disorder. Moving upstairs, let's check in on the nursery. A lovely space for baby. Maybe you'd like to exploit that warmth of mood by putting a zombie baby in that crib there. Just a random thought. The wonderful thing about modern home assets is there are many possible uses. And real quick, we'll take a look outside where the back porch appears to be a work in progress. Another great set from another Dreams asset hero. Before we talk about the next one, I just want to point out the low number of thumbs up on these collections, and these are some of the most upvoted in existence. If you'd like to give a collection a thumbs up, you can do so by going to its cover page. To do this, hover over the collection like so, hold L1 and press the cross button. Now you're at the collection's cover page and can give that thumbs up. Give a thumbs up to a collection you enjoy. Curators work hard in Dreams too and appreciate your support more than you know. Our next collection is Forest Adventure Kit by IanEastin, and it includes a bunch of assets aimed at fulfilling the titular theme. The thing I really like about this set is its focus on flora and setting the mood of adventuring in the wilds of the outdoors. You'll find some great trees, bushes, and other plants in here, but also hardscape and structure, as well as some items uniquely useful for adventuring titles. Some of these assets are of a quality which is difficult to parallel, and the artistic approach to each asset is top-notch. Let's take a look at the accompanying demo scene to see these assets in action. You can see right off the bat, these assets allow us to build an imposing fortress, but one that is wreathed in plants and foliage. We play through as a creepy cat that only walks around on its hind legs, and start off in a charming wooded courtyard. The main purpose of the scene is to display the set, but it also contains some gameplay elements like switches that activate various types of gates between areas. This is a great example of how you can add simple logic to a scene to bring it to life, so maybe I'll do a video in the near future about switches and keys and those sorts of gameplay devices. This set in general does not strive for realism. It's about halfway between that and the Media Molecule Ancient series. I think that's a good compromise for an adventure theme. You can see from the grass to the trees to the walls, you get a nice variety of textures in this set. I was looking at the stone pieces because they look like they might be using the bump map technique I talked about recently. However, upon closer inspection, it's plain sculpture layering like on these walls here. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the asset for those. IanEastin, if you're watching, you have a private asset in your collection, and I think it might be the walls in this scene. But you can see, even without the offset, altering that layered sculpt into a mossy texture is really helpful in adding an illusion of depth. That's one thing that makes this set great, effective use of sculpting techniques. Lastly, I want to point out that thermal design on these is really good. So if you're working on something adventure or outdoor themed, check these out because you can probably slip an asset or three from this set into your project without much thermal impact. The last set I want to look at is Stylized City Assets by FrodoFraggins79. This is a wonderfully designed and wonderfully cohesive set of toony urban assets. From the standpoint of someone who is designing a city set themselves, this is just a great feature-complete set that has everything from buildings to vehicles to decorations. The design of the set is really unparalleled in Dreams. It looks as if someone took a Pixar movie, chopped it up into pieces, and handed it to you to play with. And everything works so well together, it's just ridiculous. There isn't a weak or out of place piece in the entire set. When you go into the sample scene and get oriented, it's like being transported. The way this set is built, you're going to be limited to medium-sized spaces. A lot of the assets are quite detailed. The larger pieces are built from smaller pieces. As a consequence, you're going to start hitting limits with a mid-sized city like in the scene here. I view this as more of a backlot set. This isn't a set you can use to build a huge free roam area, but you can build various locations within a larger city. If someone with character animation and camera skills got a hold of this, I do not doubt they could create an entire animated feature. The quality of these is that good. I'd also like to point out that this scene only had 112 likes when I looked at it, so either people need to dig deeper to find stuff like this, or we need an adjustment to the way that various scene and asset feeds work, because something of this quality simply cannot be allowed to be buried like this. If you didn't know any better, you wouldn't guess this is Dreams. If someone showed this to someone else without context, they would almost surely think it was an animated feature of some sort. I'm somewhat jealous due to all the little detail like the fire hydrant, the benches, and the trash cans that I haven't implemented in my set yet. Color choice is also quite good, with plenty of desaturated primary colors, tempered by enough neutrals to keep it from being a riot of color. As you'll see in a second, even the lawn sprinklers are perfectly themed. Anyway, in this video I've shown you some of my asset heroes. This won't be the last video like this. I have plenty of others, and I suspect new ones will be joining us constantly. But that's all for now. Until next time, I'll see you in the Dreamiverse.